Hi, welcome to Module 2. My name is Gasper and I'm Developer Relations Lead at Oasis Network. In this module, I will explain how official Oasis wallets look like, the functionalities, how they work, and how you can use them. So, the first official Oasis wallet is Web Wallet and the second official wallet is Browser Extension. So let me start with the first one, which is Web Wallet. Before we dive into that, I want to make and distinguish between two addresses. So first of all, on consensus layer, your Oasis wallet looks like that. So that's Oasis 1 wallet, how I call it, because the rose, the native token, is always used on that consensus layer, and it could be transferred then to Emerald Paratime and other paratimes. But essentially, this is the consensus layer address. And for this address, you will notice you can use Web Wallet and also Browser Extension. And you will notice later on that for these specific addresses, you will need to use specific block explorers. Right? So the second one is EVM compatible or let's say Ethereum compatible address with 0x at the beginning, right? So that's essentially Ethereum address that could be used also on any EVM compatible blockchain. So if you already have one Ethereum address, you can use that one for Emerald Paratime. Okay? Now, we will take a look how to transfer rows or other assets to your Emerald Paratime, to EVM compatible blockchain, to this address. But let's start with our wallets. So first, Oasis Wallet Web. It can be found on wallet.oasisprotocol.org. What can you do with this wallet? First of all, you can create a new wallet, or if you already have a wallet, you can simply open it. For that reason, you will need either private key, mnemonics, so we will see the options. You can also send some rows or receive some rows, even delegate, or how you can call it, also staking, right? So you can stake some rows on consensus layer, right? So it's not the EVM, it's not the cipher and so on, but it's on the consensus layer, right? So that's why this Oasis Wallet Web, currently it's the most appropriate for consensus layer. Of course, you can use browser extension for consensus also, but Oasis Web works with consensus. Now, to open a wallet, I mentioned a few options already. But you will notice you can also use hardware wallet like Ledger, right? Now, if you have mnemonics, you can open your wallet with mnemonics. Sometimes you might export your private keys from this, remember, Oasis 1 wallet, and you can import or let's say open your wallet with private key. Same goes for Ledger. If you have a Ledger hardware wallet, I suggest that you go to docs.oasis.dev because there we have a nice guide with self-custody with Ledger, and you will notice how simple it is to use a hardware wallet, the most secure way, right, to manage your rows. Now, to continue, you can also receive your rows, or you can even check the transactions. So what happened, in the past, your history if you want. Now, on the top, so once you open your wallet, you will notice on the top right corner that there's your address, and the same is on the top left, let's say. This is your address, this is your wallet address. It's basically a public address which you can share across because people can send you the rows here, right? So this is something that you can share. Now, also this QR code represents this address. If you want to send some rows to your friends, to your, parents or whoever, right? you can use this option where you simply enter the address. So I suggest copy and pasting the addresses, not typing them manually, because you can do a typo pretty fast and then you might have a problem when you send some rows. So copy the address, paste the address of the recipient, and then enter the amount of rows, right? And then you just click send and the rows will be sent over to the destination address. All right, so once you have some transactions, it could be receiving tokens, it could be sending, it could be maybe reclaiming, right? So I did some undelegation, so that's why it says here reclaimed. You can see all these transactions. Now, the stake functionality is also part of Web Wallet. That's the third icon. Now, this tab, if you want, will offer you to delegate or undelegate some rows from validators. Okay? What does that mean? It means if you want to stake some rows and make the network more secure, okay, you can get rewards back for doing that. And that's called staking or delegating your rows. Now, from validator list, you can choose any validator, okay? And usually, if we want to have really decentralized network, I suggest delegating your rows to not to top 10 validators, right? But maybe some below, okay? So it could be top 20, top 30 validator, and you can delegate there, especially if the fee is normal or acceptable for you. And if you feel, of course, secure that it's reliable validator. Okay, so to prevent some centralization, we actually put some notifications that we don't really encourage sending everything to top 10 delegators because we want to have decentralized network. Okay, but essentially the result is the same. Okay. So once you delegate, so you of course select one of these validators. So you have a list of 120 validators. You choose your preferred one and you define how many rows you want to delegate. Okay, and then you will find active delegations and debinding delegations. What does that mean? So if you stake some rows, actually you do the delegation, you did the delegation, you will find them at active delegations. And active delegation is actually amount that you're staking or the amount on top of which you're receiving some rewards. Okay? The debonding delegations are actually your, let's say, rows that is waiting to be released back to your wallet, which means that you probably undelegate, let's say in the past, today, yesterday, right? And then after approximately 14 days, you will get and receive back your staked rows with rewards back to your address. Okay, so that's what you can do with rows inside the web wallet. Now, if we move to browser extension, so it's called Oasis Wallet browser extension, you can basically do the same or perform the same tasks or operations and maybe even more. So maybe from one perspective, it's even more useful or recommended because it supports also the transfer between consensus layer and paradigm, which means if you have some rows, let's say you bought some rows on an exchange, you first send these rows to your consensus address. That could be, something Oasis 1 something, right? And then once this rows is received to your official, let's say, wallet, you can transfer these rows to, for example, Emerald paradigm. And then once you have rows on Emerald paradigm, you can use these rows, for example, on DEXs, on lending protocols, on, any depth that it's needed, right? For example, on marketplace for NFTs and so on. So that's pretty cool. Now, you can, of course, create a new wallet, restore wallet, which is basically the same as opening on the web wallet, sending and receiving, and also delegating, or even, let's say, undelegating, which is a staking functionality, right? Okay, so you will see my wallet. So this is Wallet tab, where you will notice your status of your address, for example. So you will find a total amount available of rows that you have. So you will have available rows, which means maybe to send to friends, to other addresses. Then you will find active delegations and also debonding delegations, which means what? That I don't have any available. I only stake 0.00003 rows on some validator, and I debonded, or I make debonding delegation of 103.5 blah blah blah, right? Rows from some validator. Okay. Now on this tab, you can also go to pair times, where you will see your pair times and the amount of rows on these pair times. You can also send some rows or receive some rows, and you can see the history, which is pretty cool because you have sent, receive, maybe even delegations, right, in the history. Now, if you go to the second tab, staking, you will notice that currently I have active delegations 0, right? So the current amount of my delegated rows is so low that it shows 0, but total balance is 103.55. What does that mean? That I should have some debonding delegations, right? So that's true. And if you click the debonding delegations, you will notice I'm actually debonding 103.55 actually and something rows, and there's estimated release time. Okay, that's approximately 14 days if you were wondering, right? So let's see what else can you do. You can do some account management. What does that mean? On the first tab, wallet, you also have on the top right account management icon, right? So that's an icon where you can actually manage your accounts. It could be Oasis account, or it could be Ethereum compatible account. So that's why at the beginning I wanted to make this difference between Oasis consensus addresses and also Ethereum compatible addresses. Okay, so what can you do? You can actually go to this account management and you can check your current address. You can then import, for example, existing Oasis accounts, or even import Ethereum compatible accounts. So you can use Ethereum compatible accounts for Emerald Paradigm, our EVM compatible blockchain, or you can just create a new Oasis account. Okay, so you're not able to create the Ethereum compatible accounts, but you can create Oasis accounts. Okay, once you have multiple accounts here, you can switch between them by clicking this, let's say, opened circles, right? So when you have a green check mark, it means that this address is active in your wallet. Okay, so this account then becomes active. Now, if you have a ledger to use, you can actually do the, or you can click the ledger, and then you can use hardware wallet with your browser extension. Okay, now when you click import, I mentioned the import button. I mentioned you can import Oasis account or even Ethereum compatible account. Okay, so for importing, you will always need private key. Okay, so yeah, sometimes it's good to maybe create a wallet, export the wallet. Create a wallet and export the account. You get the private key, and then you can import that private key to any browser extension, or even open that wallet in web wallet, right? Now, watch mode is only if you want to have I don't know, let's say control or to see the transactions. So basically with watch mode, if you import some address only for watch mode, you cannot really send any or stake any rows. Okay, so it's not really to managing your assets, your rows, but it's more for observing. Okay, so welcome to our first demo. It's about official Oasis wallets. I will show you how to create a new wallet, how to open existing wallet, and how to even import a different wallet, let's say Oasis account or even Ethereum compatible account. So let me start and begin with our web wallet. If you go to wallet.oasisprotocol.org, so that's our web wallet, you can either open a wallet or create a new one. For demo purposes, I will try to create a new one, and then I will use this wallet to import and open it in our browser extension. So let's create a new one, copy, and the best, let's say, the best way to securely store these mnemonics is actually not copying them, but actually writing them down, because you might have compromised PC or your laptop, right? And we want to make sure that this mnemonics doesn't get to anybody else than just you. Okay, so I would write them down manually, and then once you have them, let's say on your paper or anywhere else, right, you can reuse them on browser extension or another PC or another device. Okay, so I will just do that for demo reason. It's not a good practice to copy them, keep that in mind. So I saved my key phrase, import my wallet, which means that I will actually use these key phrases, now my mnemonics, to open my new wallet. Okay, so import my wallet, voila, there's my new wallet. Okay, so what can I do now with this wallet? I have mnemonics, and I can go to Chrome, google.com, to web store, where I can search for Oasis wallet. So I would say Oasis. The first Oasis wallet is our official browser extension. So it must be, if you go down from our offered by Oasis Foundation, and currently we have version 1.5. Okay, so I can actually add this to Chrome because I already have it. I can remove it, but I can just use it right here. Okay, so I will go to my web wallet, and I will reopen the same wallet. So basically when you click that, you can say restore wallet or create a new wallet. So what I will do is actually restore wallet, because I will use these mnemonics now. So first of all, you need to create a password for your browser extension. Think about that as a master password that will unlock your wallet. Okay, and this wallet will have multiple accounts if you wish so. So let's start with having a password. For example, I don't know, make it a secure, so it must be a number, lowercase, and so on, right? So let's try this password. Okay, let's try this password. Understand? Okay. Okay, so password does not match. Okay, maybe let's try this time. Yep. Okay, and then when you come to this restore wallet, you simply just paste your, or actually you need to write them down, right? Manually, if you write them on the paper, all 24 seed words in order to open your wallet. Okay, I click confirm, and now I have congrats, you have restored a wallet successfully. Start. Okay, I will just close this browser extension, or maybe just move to my browser again, because now if I click that wallet, I have my newly created wallet here with available balance 0, because it was empty, it was fresh. So essentially you see I have the same wallet in two different, let's say, apps, right? One is the browser extension and one is in browser. Okay, so what can I do now? I can go to account management, and you see now I have only one account. I will rename that account. So I will name it new demo account 1, or let's say 2. Okay, maybe just new demo account because you have only 16 characters. Okay, confirm. You can either also export private key, because you can then reuse this private key and import that address into multiple browser extensions on different devices. And if I go back, I can import a wallet, which could be Oasis account or even Ethereum compatible account. Okay, so let's do, for the demo purpose first, Oasis private key. Okay, now if you exported Oasis private key, let's say from this account, I will say Oasis demo 2, and I need to provide my private key. So private key that I actually exported was, let's say, this one. So that was one of my demo accounts. So I will paste here my private key, confirm. And voila, there is imported demo account. Okay, and this account, you see, it has 208 rows. So now, if you select the first one and go back, you see you have 0 balance. If you go to account management, select the second one and go back, you have the second account. Okay, so what I will do now, I will copy this address, okay, the newly created wallet, and I will open extension now, and from my imported wallet I will send some rows to that account, so to the newly created wallet, right? So I will just do some demo amount like 0.1, for example. Click next, confirm the transaction details. So from 2, the fee is 0, and we have 0.1 rows. Confirm. Now, this should take a few seconds. You will get pending screen first, and then very soon it will be, let's say, refreshed to successful, so that green check mark. But you can also go to browser extension and refresh your wallet, and you should have 0.1 rows here. So you see how fast that is, how cool and easy interaction it is. So what can I also do now is, if I go back to my browser extension, you will notice under account management, I have 2 accounts, but those are both Oasis accounts. If I want to use Emerald, I can actually go and import my Ethereum compatible account. So I will go and click import. I will click Ethereum compatible private key, because I want to now import Ethereum compatible account to be used for my Emerald. Okay, so I will say Emerald demo account, next, and I need to provide my private key here. Okay, so I have a demo account, that's private key for my ETH account, let's say, for 0x account. Confirm, and voila, I have Ethereum compatible account. So now I have 3 accounts. I can select either, and I can see the details. So let me check the Ethereum compatible account, go back, and you see the wallet now doesn't display all the details, because now I can go only to pairtimes, since it's my address, Ethereum compatible address, it's not in consensus. So I go to pairtimes, and you see here I can see available balance of my rows from this Ethereum compatible account. And what I can do, I can just send it to consensus. Okay, so how much or how many? Let's say I will send 0.1 again to this address. Okay, I will have to do it again. So pairtimes to consensus, and let's say to my newly created account, I will say 0.1, next, and you will confirm the transaction. So now it will go from Ethereum compatible account from Emerald to consensus account, which is Oasis 1. Okay, so what you will notice is that this will be, let's say, from paradigm to consensus transaction. Okay, so if I go back, you see now if I refresh my browser, I should have 0.2. Voila. And you will see the transaction. If I go to my browser extension, change the account to new demo account, go back, voila, I have 0.2. And you see I have first transaction which was receiving 10, so 0.10 or 0.1 rows, and the second one was actually Emerald transaction. Okay, so you see from this account to my account here, and all the details, right? You can also see it on the Explorer, but essentially you see how easy it is to transfer rows from consensus to Emerald paradigm, from consensus to consensus, right? So what I can also do is, if you want to send, for example, some rows from one to another, let's do it from this newly created account to paradigm. So what I will need actually is my account address, so Emerald demo account address. Go back, I will click here to copy that address, and I will change the account to my newly created account. Go back, and now how to send some rows to Emerald. I can go to paradigms here or to the paradigms tab. Okay, and here I can say to paradigm, so it could be to Cypher, to Emerald. I will do it to Emerald because I have the address in my clipboard now. So let's say to paradigm, provide the Ethereum compatible address and the amount from available. Okay, so I will say 0.1. Next, confirm transaction, and now I should receive 0.1 rows to Emerald on this Ethereum compatible account. Voila. Let me go back and let's change to the Emerald demo account. So this is the Ethereum compatible account. And if you remember from before, it was 24.1, now it's 24.2. And if you want to verify that, you can go back to account management, new demo account, back and check the wallet and history. Okay, so if I refresh that, I should have transaction Emerald, you see, and that was actually from consensus to, yeah, so this address is not relevant for you, but it was actually Emerald transaction which went to my ETH compatible account. Now, I hope that makes sense. I hope that it's a good experience to you. Maybe some settings to go over. So under security, you can also back up your mnemonic phrase, which means that you can, so I will just provide my password from my wallet, from browser extension wallet. And this is actually the, mnemonics that we're using for our wallet with multiple accounts. Okay. Now, if you want to export private keys, you can go again to account management. And let's say you want to export private key for second Oasis account. Select this one. Actually, you don't need to do that, but if you click that arrow, you will have this option, export private key. Okay, so that's pretty easy. You have account address, you have account name, and you can export private key. Okay, so I will say my password here to check my private key, and voila, I can actually copy that private key to any different maybe web wallet to open my wallet with private key. Okay, I hope that demo makes sense, that it was really useful for you. And if I refresh that one for final step, you will notice that I should have only 0.1 rows. Yep. Thank you for being here, and see you in the next module.